What's going on, you guys? I have finally done it. I have finally found, drumroll please, the perfect 2011 to EDC. Today we're looking at the Kimber KDS9c. This is the TFS version, but that doesn't matter. Let's get into it. So welcome to the channel. My name's Ben with Marksman. If you're new here, I am a huge 2011 guy, but more importantly, I'm a huge concealed carry guy. When I started this channel, I was trying to build the perfect striker-fired gun for me, the one that carried the best, shot the best, kind of marrying that balance, that impossible dialectic to find. And then I found the 1911, or more specifically, the double-stack 1911 2011 platform, and my fascination was piqued because the performance there is just absolutely undeniable. Carrying those guns can present a challenge, and we will get more into that as we dive into the video, but today we are looking at the Kimber KDS9c. This is not a brand new gun. The railed version is a little bit newer than the non-railed version. However, I am really excited to take a look at this gun, the first shots, and just overall my carrying experience so far. So this is absolutely a first impressions video, but I'm gonna hopefully try and come at it with a unique approach. So historically, both with the 2011 and the Kimber platforms, specifically the Kimber guns, there have been problems. 2011s have not always been the most reliable. They have not always been the most concealable because they just took the magazine and absolutely blew it out girth-wise, and so the grip became super thick. The gun just became like very blocky. On the Kimber side of things started falling through the cracks, and people who ended up buying their guns really were just unhappy with a lot of things. I guess more recently, Kimber replaced their CEO. He is long gone. He went to SIG. Now he's doing a fine job of ruining SIG's reputation instead of Kimber's, and Kimber is back on the menu. Some people have had reported issues. I put about maybe 500 rounds through this gun, a little bit more. I have had somewhat of a breaking in period where malfunctions and issues did arise, specifically one malfunction, which we'll get to later on. Most people who have had issues online, from what I've seen with their KDS9Cs, get them quickly resolved and get a satisfactory result after talking with customer service. So that is a good improvement. Before we really jump into the video, I would love to thank a couple of supporters of the channel. First off, DK Mags is letting me borrow this gun for 30 days to make this video, make content like this possible for you. They also provided the optic plate because Kimber KDS9c does not come with a freaking optic plate, and I think that's wrong. So it's a $100 plate, and they are essentially just letting me have it for free. At the end of the 30 days, I'm gonna spoil this review here. I'm gonna buy this gun with my cold hard cash because this is, All right, guys, just jumping in here quick. YouTube has been taking down my videos like crazy. Apparently, you're not supposed to link to gun stores and stuff in the descriptions. So I have my own custom kind of link tree built out in the description for you to check out, but it's just a landing page, kind of my home page. Lots of affiliate links, lots of codes for you guys to save big on gear, so go ahead and check that out. Some new partners, some new ones for the channel that I'm really excited about are BC Ammo, Buffalo Creek Ammo, also Eberl Stock. They have great hunting bags, hunting packs, EDC gear, clothing. Big savings and discounts down in the description below again. So thanks for supporting me, the channel, and those companies. Another supporter I'd like to thank is Civivi. They got great blades. This is one of their most popular blades. Thing's freaking absolutely sharp. Like if I just did this with my thumb, I wouldn't have a thumb anymore. They make a perfect blend of convenience, usability, and portability, so really great for your EDCs. Another supporter, Hoto. They make great tools. This one specifically is their little EDC driver bit that I am going to feature in an upcoming EDC video, but basically it's this is what you got, this is the package. You pull out the bottom and you get a million different bits. Sorry for the long sponsor talk. We had a lot of brands to get through today, but let's dive into why we're here and look more at the gun. So this gun, you really can't necessarily call it a double stack 1911. I'm sure if you've seen any of the other content kind of covering this, you'll know why. But to just go over it really briefly, essentially, it doesn't have a grip safety. I guess you could say that it has a pinned grip safety, but it's just not really existent. And I really like that. I think a grip safety is an unnecessary feature that doesn't actually provide that much safety. If you know the 70 series 1911 platform, which this falls in, they are not necessarily drop safe. If you go muzzle down with a round in the chamber and you drop it from high enough, hard enough, fast enough, you will be able to get the gun to go off on its own. Even if the grip safety is not depressed, even if the thumb safety is not engaged, doesn't matter because gravity is gravity, there's no firing pin block. So I think having arbitrary safeties to make you feel a little bit better isn't really what I prefer, especially ones that can not necessarily be the most consistent to defeat. Thumb safeties, obviously if you hear that positive click, if you feel your thumb riding on it, you're good to go, you're ready to start blasting off. Sometimes if you don't get the best purchase when you draw your pistol, you might not fully depress that grip safety, you depress that thumb safety, you go to pull a trigger and you're like, oh, why isn't the trigger pulling? What the heck? And then you're dead. That's why you see a lot of people with tape around it, rubber bands around it, or just like straight up pinned grip safeties on their 2011s. 1911s, but one pro about the Kimber KDS9c, having that kind of deleted is that in a court of law, if you happen to use this gun, they're not gonna try and, the prosecutor's not gonna try and get you for, oh, he removed a safety on the firearm. It's just straight from the factory, that's how it is. For me, when it comes to 2011s, the reason why I like them so much are, one, the trigger pull, like kind of first and foremost. It has a single action trigger, which means the mechanics of it are just so dumb simple that when you pull it, it just goes straight to the rear, boom, pops that hammer, and it hits the firing pin and you're good to go. That gives you the most predictable, cleanest, and easiest to kind of manipulate quickly trigger pull out of nearly any trigger system that I'm aware of. So that's point one for the 2011's 1911 platform. Point two is going to be the tolerances. Back when 1911s were first issued in the World War I, World War II eras, they were like Glock 19s where you could just, you know, pull on the slide this way and you would have so much play. But now these days, these things are hand fit. They're really tightened up. The slop is gone, especially with the Kimber KDS9c, and things are extraordinarily accurate. It comes sometimes at a reliability cost, and kind of perhaps with this one, which we'll get into, especially like a break-in period. But what you do get out of that is extreme performance. Last but not least, you get a little bit of extra weight with the 1911 platform because they're not polymer guns. They're made out of, I mean, the slide steel. The frame and grip are aluminum. So being an all metal gun, you're just gonna naturally have a heavier gun. And more weight means less recoil. It's the same, that principle applies, I mean, physics apply to handguns, and especially they apply to even like the biggest guns, such as a PRS precision gun, the ones that weigh like 35 pounds. No day would you want to bring that into the field with you, but when you're just viced down, sitting, you know, laying prone, that gun soaks up all the recoil for you. The unique thing about the KDS9 is in that last aspect of why I like 2011s, and that is the weight department. This gun is pretty much very similar to a Glock 19 in size, in dimensions, but also in weight, which is very interesting. This being one of the lighter 2011 EDC options out there, I mean, really piqued my interest. So me personally, I have a back problem. I have something called spondylolisthesis. You guys don't care what that is, but essentially what it is my lowest vertebrae is like really kind of out of place. And so I'm gonna have back problems and back pain for the rest of my life. When I carry a gun, it exacerbates that. So with each iteration of my EDC, my carry gun has gotten lighter and smaller and unfortunately less shootable. I don't love that, especially now as a dad. I want to really take seriously the aspect of bringing the most capable tool that I can possibly carry comfortably. Why this gun is so unique is because I've been looking all around. I have a Springfield Prodigy. It's the 425 version. That gun is super heavy. It's like 32 ounces without a magazine in it. This gun happens to be lighter than the Springfield Prodigy like compact version, which is the 3.5-inch barrel, 15 round grip. So it's a shorter frame, shorter barrel, shorter slide, and a shorter grip than the Prodigy that I own. I was really on the fence. I almost bought that gun so many times. I couldn't be more glad that I didn't, because this gun and that gun is nearly the same price. Not quite. This one's a tiny bit more expensive, but not meaningfully so. Additionally, the only really other like concealed carry EDC oriented 2011 platform that I've owned is the Staccato CS. And both guns shine in different ways, but I do, hands down, I would pick this gun over that any day of the week. Let me tell you why. Height-wise, the gun is shorter than the CS, which is interesting. It's a little bit heavier, just a tiny bit over 2 ounces heavier, so you're not gonna feel that whatsoever. It's got a longer barrel and slide, so you're gaining you know, muzzle velocity and some performance there without really compromising that much in weight. But hugely for printing and carry, this gun is thinner than the CS in terms of the girth here. For me, the two absolutely most important aspects to a gun that I would even consider to carry, well, I guess first is reliability. That's kind of goes without saying because I want a gun that I can trust my life to, my family's life to, all that kind of stuff. But aside from that, all things being equal with reliability, it's going to be weight first, and then it's going to be the width second. The length of the grip, I don't really care about, because if the gun is thin enough and not like crazy long, it's going to be fine. Weight is simply because of my back, but the girth and the width of the gun is just because of carrying, concealment, and kind of the way that the gun wedges out of my waistband and prints. This gun is thinner than the Bull Armory Ultralight Pro. It's not lighter, that gun's a little bit lighter. This gun's thinner than the Staccato CS, the Springfield Prodigy 3.5 inch. It's like literally one of the thinnest and easiest to conceal 2011s on the market, 2011 style guns on the market. A close competitor is going to be the Wilson Combat EDC X9, but that gun's almost twice the price, and I'm just not interested in paying extra money when I don't have to. Before I shot this gun, I heard a lot of people saying that, man, I wanted to love the gun so much, I just idolized this thing, I wanted it to be perfect for me, and then I shot it, and it was way too snappy, and I was just so disappointed. Obviously, the weight would come in with that as to why it may or may not have behaved for said individual. However, I ran a lot of different courses of fire with this gun. I plan on competing in USPSA with this gun, and I'm fully confident. Like, my Springfield Prodigy is 10 ounces heavier. It has a porta barrel, which this does not. So the recoil, it's a big difference. At least it should be. But when I shot this gun, I shot literally better than I've ever shot before, and I shot it with iron sights. I didn't have this dot on. And if you guys don't know kind of my shooting history, I learned how to shoot pistol on red dot. I've always been a red dot guy. And these days especially, I very, very, very rarely shoot iron sights. And when I do, I noticeably suck more. So that has something to be said. I have not shot this gun with a dot yet, but I would be happy to report back in a longer term review, especially like post USPSA competitions and stuff like that, with my results if I've seen any improvement over my first experience with this gun. Now that you've gotten to this point in the video, your alarm bells might be going off. You may be wondering, is he a Kimber shill? Did Kimber send him this gun? Obviously, I alluded to that DK Mags is, you know, they're giving me a little bit of a discount, but Kimber has no say in this. I do want them to do well as a company because I think there's a lot of proud American history there, despite being a native-born Korean, but adopted American. But all that to say, I have no dog in the fight. I just want a good gun that I can trust, that I can carry, that I can be extraordinarily capable with. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm a huge 1911 simp. So any gun that's kind of single action, hammer fired in that genre of, you could kind of consider it a 1911, I'm gonna be a sucker for. I think they have a lot more soul. Like to me, it's like, I have an 80 series Land Cruiser and I also have a Tesla Model Y. Well, I guess it's my wife's car. When I drive my cruiser, it feels like I'm getting inside of feels like I'm getting to a vehicle that really just has soul to it. There's history there, there's culture, there's a call, there's like a pull. When I haven't driven it for a while, or when it's been in the shop for a month because the thing has 220,000 miles on it and it's 30 years old, I get pulled to it, I miss it. But the Tesla Model Y, I could go either way. I mean, there's a lot of creature comforts, like a striker fired gun. It's convenient, it's easy, it's nice, you don't have to think about it necessarily. Maintenance, the reliability, this analogy is very adjacent. But at the end of the day, when I run it, I'm like, you know, I got from point A to B. It did what I needed it to do, but the experience was lackluster. And I think a lot of you guys could probably resonate with that, especially if you stuck out this video for this long. Talking about the reliability side of things, I did have some issues. When I first got the gun, pretty much 9 times out of 10, every time I would go to press check with a round in the chamber, I wouldn't be able to get the gun to actually like break open until I would drop the mag and then really like yank on it, and then the round would eject and my press check would be ruined. After firing it 500 rounds, that is a little bit better. Here, I'll show you guys here. For YouTube's purposes, this is a dummy round. This is not a real round. And when I go to press check, I do meet resistance, that initial few millimeters of travel before it would be impossible, like I said, unless I really just yanked on it. But now it is more consistent. Not perfect because I do feel some sticking points here. So that, along with the other issue I have, brings me to believe that there's a break-in period for this gun. The other issue that I had is when I went to slide lock on a reload drill, I'd pop the new mag in, I'd drop the slide with the slide stop, slide release, and it would go partially into battery. The fix for that was just to do a little back fist on the slide, and it would go into battery, and I'd be good to go. I had that for the first like 3 reloads I did, and then all the subsequent ones after that, it was no longer an issue. So I hope that that's enough rounds to get rid of that problem, especially when I compete in PSA, because reloads are 100% going to be a thing. So just take note of that. The rounds that I did run through are like dirt cheap stuff. It's because DK Mags provides me with free ammo every month. But it's not the premium stuff because I have a set price that I can pick from. So I just get the crappiest ammo that I can possibly find, and it ran it just fine. It was 115 grain, a little bit of 124, and I have not put 147s through it yet. I did shoot this gun suppressed. That was an absolute dream. That's why I got the threaded barrel one, is because I have the Silencerco Spectre 9, and man, what a nasty gun that is with a can on. Worked flawlessly. I had 0 malfunctions, and man, that's a lot of fun to shoot. So you guys, these days, I'm gonna release a updated EDC video in the near future. I have a few things I'm trying to collect, add to my EDC, and then kind of pressure test, or at least just daily test out before I make that video. But this gun I'm carrying at the 3-4 o'clock in a leather Kydex kind of hybrid holster. This thing is so comfortable. For those of you that don't know, I'm a wedding videographer. And if you combine a 10-hour very physically active day with someone who has some back pain, I mean, I'm not trying to be a bitch about it, but it's something I just have to live with. Normally, when I shoot weddings, I don't carry because it's just so uncomfortable. It gets really painful at the end of the day. But I had this gun, 15 rounds plus 1 in the chamber, not the lightest thing in the world. I carried it all day, and at the end of the day, I didn't have any discomfort or any issues. So really, really shocked and really surprised, because when I picked up the gun for the first time out of the box, I was like, oh man, this is a little bit heavier than I thought it would be, but I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna give it a shot. And I couldn't be more happier. I was really on the fence between this gun and the Kimber KDS9, although I knew if I went with that option, I wouldn't be able to compete with it. So that's kind of the draw that I felt. And I want to compete with the gun that I carry, because I want my pressure testing, I mean, USPSA, competition shooting, whatever you want to do, IDPA, that's gonna be the closest that you can get to a real life self-defense scenario in terms of how much pressure, how much stress, how much attention to detail you have to be locked in. You don't get a second chance. And so that's really like the closest thing you can get. And I want to make sure that if I'm doing that, I'm gonna be doing it with a gun that I'm gonna have on my body, so that when I draw, everything's gonna feel the same. When I pull the pistol and I depress the safety, that's gonna be there. Like, I'm gonna have to depress that safety and I won't forget about it. The recoil management, tracking the dot, worrying about transitions, reloads, even though I don't carry a spare mag, all of those things will be the same on my competition day when I'm running those courses of fire, as they will be when I hopefully never have to deploy it in a self-defense scenario. So making sure that you train with the gear that you carry is absolutely so important to me, and that's why I went with the bigger gun over the KDS9. But also why I didn't go with the 2K11 Pro or the 2K11 that Kimber has, that are apparently getting really fantastic reviews. And I am jealous, I do want one. Maybe if Kimber likes the video that I made here, I can figure something out. But at the end of the day, I've tried carrying my Prodigy many times. You know, I carry it for 2 days and I'm like, oh God, this actually hurts a lot. And it's really uncomfortable, and I'm printing a ton. And then I put it away, and then I carry my SIG 365, and I'm like, man, this gun just doesn't have any soul. And I want to carry a better gun that I feel more connected to. And it just goes on repeat forever. So I think I finally landed on a gun that is perfect for me, I dare say. Hopefully this review had some unique perspectives to share, especially in regards to the EDC aspect of the Kimber KDS9c. If you guys liked the video, go ahead, leave a like, comment in the section down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for stopping by.